Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope that you are doing absolutely fabulous. Thanks for joining for a Shabbat Passover reading. Actually, I just did this. And first of all, if you are new, I'm not Jewish. I'm not religious. I'm not churchy, but I am Hebraic, and I do keep covenant with Jehovah Elohim because my lineage instructs us to do that. And so anyway, the High Arcana can be found within Psalms 119, so I like to let Jehovah bring out what he wants to on this Shabbat, on the Shabbats, and so I honor this day. But anyway, if you stay, if you don't, then you don't. But welcome if you do. Those of you who are returning, welcome back, and happy birthday, happy anniversary for you all as well. If you are finding yourself down and out, I just ask right now that Jehovah would send his Holy Spirit to help you lift your head and be of good cheer, and that you will wait upon him so that he can strengthen your heart, because he surely will. So let me just tell you something that just took place. I did a Shabbat little reading and was speaking, and I went back to listen to it and deleted it for a purpose. I have, so those of you who do know and watch these Shabbat readings, as I said, we can find the High Arcana in the Psalms 119. And when I was making my cards up, there's 22 letters in the Hebraic language, but they added a 23rd letter, which would be the twisted rope, which goes back to the Ga, and it jumped out in that video. And I was going to pull it out, but I guess I never did, and it jumped out, and it looks like a DNA cord. It also is, it represents a rope, but it jumped out. And I had written on here, actually, Proverbs on this card, and I read it. And I'll just go ahead and read it again since I'm telling about what took place. It states here that it is not good to accept the person of the wicked or to overthrow the righteous in judgment. Okay? A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. So the twisted rope, and it's going back talking about fools and being foolish, and we often will get the fool card and talk about how it just returns into its folly like a dog returns to the vomit. And so the Aleph had jumped out after that, and I went back and was listening to it, and I read it in error. And so that's why I'm getting up on here and redoing something. I'm still having my coffee, and that's why it's always good for us to go back and listen, as if you do videos and stuff like that. So oftentimes I will do that anyway. But the Aleph head came out, and it is the Magician card in the deck. And the Aleph head, like I always say, Gemini holds that in Gemini, and Virgo could actually be found there with that card. But this being the Aleph head in the Hebrew would be the third and the second house together, which will actually be the next house that we will be finding ourselves in after we leave Aries. But the Aleph head came out, and that, again, that is a strong leader of a family. It can go back to physicians and magicians and things like that. We're talking about twisted rope. Then the Magician card can be a manipulator. So somebody's been foolish within something. I guess somebody has accepted a person of the wicked and overthrew some type of a righteous person in some type of a judgment. Then that was foolish, and somebody is either being warned that if you do that, Jehovah loves you enough to get up out here and say, look, that's foolish. You are going to call strokes to your mouth, or maybe somebody already has. Somebody's lips are here calling for some type of strokes and destruction, I guess, and it's going to bring a snare to the soul. Okay? Something's twisted here. And it amazes me that when I went back and listened to that, and Jehovah spoke a little something to me. And if you don't know me, and those who do, Jehovah speaks very profoundly to me. He'll often use me in a very expressive way, and in a very natural and supernatural expressive way, just to get his point across sometimes. And I don't question him. That video occurred for a reason, because he wanted to speak something to me through it, even in something that I messed up in error as I was reading, because something has been twisted on some people. And so he used that so that I can come back on here and speak about it. For whatever reason why he does it, his ways aren't our ways. People just ain't. But anyway, Jehovah stated there's something twisted. Last night I did a reading and the devil came out. And there is something twisted. And we're here in the Passover, and we're dealing with prideful people that have been foolish in what they've done and can stiffen their heart, just like Pharaoh did. I'm just bringing it out in here since we are at the Passover. Because Jehovah is sick of the twistedness, the darkness. This go back to goat fibers, horns. Like I said, the devil card came out, and Jehovah in that reading said, I'm not interested in the liars. He ain't. They call for strokes to their mouth. And the Aleph head is talking about how we are blessed who walk in his law. Okay, it says, blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of Jehovah. A lot of time, when I went back to listen to this, and I flubbed that up in what I said, and Jehovah says a lot of people are getting up, and they flubbing up his word. That's foolish. He's been dealing with the leaders of the churches, or just leadership in general. The sun right now is in place of leadership. Okay? At the same time, the Aleph head is a leader, and leaders of families that lay down foundation, and clans of people. But if they're leading in a twisted, dark way and overthrowing righteous people to keep the word of the great King of the universe, Jehovah's fixing to give a big strike in their face, and he's going to split the sea for his people and do miraculous things, because he's the same today as he was yesterday. And the foolish people are going to be sitting there in a ditch where they've led clans of people, because the glory is going away. He's been really bringing that up. He really has been bringing it up, because the only true law is Jehovah's law, and we are to keep his covenant. And people have just been just like, no, you're going to do what I want. And it's caused some type of real twistedness to come out here. I was saying on that video that this morning, as I was spending some time with Jehovah, that I was reminded that many years ago, when I was in the churches, I was in a gospel group, and we went to a church, and we got up and we did a skit, and where somebody was the voice of God and asking questions, and then we would sing within the skit. When I got up, my verse within that's the song that was being within the skit was, though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. And no turning back, no turning back. And we got clans of people here because they want to not be alone, because it's too hard if I stand up for the truth. I'm going to go here and be led by you just to be accepted, and it's foolish and it's wicked, and people have lost their life, and now they're in the ditches. And I was telling on that video how Jehovah has tested me in those words that I got up before that congregation and sang. I've literally lived it out, because he said, I'm going to have a people who are tried and true. I'm going to test you. Okay, we got a physician energy here, or a magician or an alchemist type of energy that is here, or a mad scientist type of energy, and any person who does anything would test their work, right? Well, Jehovah does that as well to see what's in the heart. And some people found out they got twisted fibers and goats and horns and darkness, and I'll go ahead and accept the wicked person, and I'll overthrow the judgment of the righteous because I don't want to be alone. And Jehovah said, well, then you were never with me ever. And there will be no miracles then that you will see. That was just really, I hadn't thought about that in so long, and Jehovah just opened it up to me and said, I tested you. As you got up and stood before the groups that you did those skits before, I tested to see if that was really in your heart when you were singing that to me. And I meant it. People, I meant it. I'm here today because I meant it. Even being overthrown by those who were foolish, Jehovah used it for his glory, and I stand here and give him the glory alone. Will you follow him today? Because we fix to see a great miracle take place in a very big way. We're moving. We know we're in prophecy, people. We know that we are. If you watch this channel, that you cannot sit and say that Jehovah is a liar, because he's profound here on this channel. And he loves people, and he wants to bless people, but he wants to test first. Because just not everybody's accepted. You must be tried and true, and be of worth to him. And say, I love you even if nobody else loves me. I love you even if they overthrow me. I love you. I'll walk in your way and I'll be undefiled because you just say, and I just trust you. He's never failed me, people. He's never failed me. And I feel like some people have been in a valley of decision for a while, and Jehovah has really given words. He just gave it for the next few days to the 7th, that somebody fixing to, come out of a battle and lose their glory because they didn't want correction, because they want manipulation. Okay? Blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of Jehovah, keeping his covenant, loving him first and loving your neighbor, and being a blessing. And not foolish and say, give me my strokes on my mouth because I'm stupid. Blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of Jehovah. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies. And I'm here to testify today that he's never left me. And I've got 3 years of proof that he's been profoundly protecting me. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and seek him with the whole heart, not just part of it, all of it. They also do no iniquity, and they walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my way were directed to keep thy statutes. Oh, forsake me not utterly. That is found in Psalms 119, 1 through 8. And it's the A and the G. So the Ga came out, and then the Aleph head came out, still made the Ga. Okay? We got clans of people that are either going to be delivered in a very profound way and go through the dry sea, or some people are going to be led in the ditch, and then after his people get out, here comes the water, and they're going to drown. Their breath will be taken away. It's a rope here, and so it's the same energy. We got air type energy coming out here, and will you follow him? Even if none go with you, even if today you have to make a decision, you know you've been on this side with a bunch of people who have been in clans, because that reading where the twisted devil card came out, which was an ugly devil picture in the deck that I was using, there were clans of people everywhere. We had the death card there, which is the sea, which is the rain, which is a seas of people. We had the magician card come out, which is clans of people. We had all kinds of people there, and Jehovah said he wasn't interested in the liars. He wasn't, and there's clans of them. Will you go against the grain today and see the true fame that comes from Jehovah, or will you be drowned? Will you leave Egypt, or are you going to stay where the plagues are going to be there because of manipulation and all that stupidness? I don't know. That's up to you. Again, I'm not churchy or religious, but I do know my Elohim. And I got too much proof to show you that he's good, even if you got to do it alone. So whoever that's for, lift up your heads. Let Jehovah come into these gates in the way you see in your eye gates, in the way you perceive something, in how you hear something with your ear gates, in what you say with your mouth gate. Don't let it be twisted. Don't let it call for strokes. Let him deliver you today, even if you got to do it alone. Okay, so that's the word he wanted me to give. And because he still does live. Until next time, shalom.